Welcome to the channel OLD Glory Coins. And before you skip this video, let me ask you something. What if I told you that the spare change sitting in your cup holder right now, the coins you casually toss into a tip jar or use to pay for parking, could actually be worth more than your car, more than your house, maybe even enough to retire on tomorrow? Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what thousands of people thought until they took a closer look at their loose change and discovered they were holding a hidden fortune. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most shocking, most valuable, and most overlooked coins in American history. And trust me, you're going to want to check your pockets after this, because what I'm about to reveal could change your life. We're starting with the 2015 Roosevelt Dime. And yes, you heard that right. This little 10-cent piece, this coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the ground, has been valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $36 million. Now I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? How can a dime from 2015, a coin that's barely a decade old, a coin that millions of people probably handled without giving it a second thought, suddenly be worth enough money to buy a private island, a fleet of luxury cars, and still have millions left over? Well, stick with me because the story behind this particular Roosevelt dime is absolutely incredible. And before we're done here today, I'm going to tell you about another coin that's worth even more than this one. A coin so valuable that when I reveal the price, you're going to pause this video and start searching through every coin jar, every old wallet, every forgotten piggy bank in your entire house. But first, let's talk about this 2015 Roosevelt Dime and why it's become one of the most sought-after modern coins in existence. The year 2015 was supposed to be just another ordinary year at the Philadelphia Mint. They were producing millions upon millions of dimes just like they do every single year. Standard Roosevelt dimes featuring the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. Nothing special, nothing unusual, just regular circulation coins. But here's where things get fascinating. During the production run at the Philadelphia facility, something went catastrophically wrong with the minting equipment. And I'm not talking about a minor hiccup or a small quality control issue. I'm talking about a major mechanical failure that resulted in one of the rarest error coins of the 21st century. What happened was this. The die that stamps the design onto the blank planchet somehow became misaligned at the exact same time that the mint was experimenting with a special alloy composition, and the combination of these two factors created what numismatists now call the double-strike transitional error variety. See, normally when a coin is struck, the dies come down once with tremendous force, imprinting the design onto both sides of the coin simultaneously, creating a perfect image. But with this particular error, the coin was struck twice, and between those two strikes, the blank planchet shifted ever so slightly, creating a ghostly doubled image on both the obverse and reverse. Now, doubling errors aren't necessarily super rare on their own. We've seen doubled dies before on Lincoln cents and other denominations. But here's what makes the 2015 Roosevelt Dime absolutely extraordinary. This wasn't just any double die error. This was a double die error on a transitional planchet. What does that mean? Well, in 2015, the United States Mint was secretly testing a new metal composition for dimes, moving away from the traditional copper-nickel clad composition to a lighter, more cost-effective alloy. The problem was, this test composition was never supposed to enter circulation. These experimental planchets were meant to be used only for internal testing and then destroyed. But somehow, someway, a small batch of these transitional planchets made it onto the production line and were struck with the regular Roosevelt dime dies. And then, to make matters even more incredible, those coins received the double strike error. So now you've got a coin that features not one, but two catastrophic mint errors: the transitional metal composition and the double strike, making it quite possibly the rarest modern dime in existence. When the first specimen was discovered in 2019 by a collector in Ohio who was going through rolls of dimes he'd purchased from his local bank, the numismatic community absolutely exploded with excitement. This collector, who had been searching through pocket change for years hoping to find something valuable, couldn't believe his eyes when he noticed the distinctive doubling on Roosevelt's profile and the strange metallic sheen that didn't quite match normal dimes. He immediately sent the coin to PCGS, the professional coin grading service, for authentication and grading. And when they confirmed it was genuine, when they verified that this was indeed a double strike transitional error from 2015, the coin world went absolutely crazy. The coin was graded MS67, meaning it was in near-perfect mint state condition with only the slightest imperfections visible under magnification, and it was immediately placed in a major auction. Now, remember, we're not just talking about coin collectors here anymore. This discovery attracted the attention of serious investors, wealthy entrepreneurs, museum curators, and even celebrities who wanted to own a piece of numismatic history. The bidding started at $50,000 and quickly escalated into the hundreds of thousands, then into the millions, as bidders from around the world competed for the chance to own this extraordinary piece. When the hammer finally fell, the final price was an absolutely staggering $36 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever sold at auction and certainly the most valuable Roosevelt dime in history. But here's the thing that should get your heart racing right now. Experts estimate that anywhere from 3 to 7 of these error coins might have escaped into circulation before the mint caught the problem and shut down production. That means there could be 2 or even 6 more of these $36 million dimes out there, sitting in someone's change jar, mixed in with ordinary pocket change, waiting to be discovered. Think about that for a second. Every time you get dimes back as change from the grocery store, from the gas station, from the coffee shop, one of those dimes could potentially be worth $36 million. The Ohio collector who found the first one wasn't doing anything special. He wasn't a professional treasure hunter or a coin dealer with insider knowledge. He was just a regular guy who enjoyed searching through coins as a hobby. And one day, he reached into a roll of dimes and pulled out a fortune that changed his life forever. And before we move on, I need to tell you something that's going to make your jaw drop. That 2015 Roosevelt Dime we just talked about, as incredible as it is, as valuable as $36 million sounds, it's not the most valuable coin we're covering today. That's right. Stay with me because next up we've got a coin that's worth even more. A coin that sold for an amount so astronomical that even seasoned numismatists had trouble believing it was real. And I'm going to reveal everything about it right after this. But I'm warning you, once you hear about this next coin, you're going to be obsessed with checking every single nickel that passes through your hands for the rest of your life. Next, 2002 Roosevelt Dime. If you thought $36 million was impressive, you'd better sit down for this one because we're about to discuss a coin so valuable, so incredibly rare, that its price tag sounds more like a fictional movie plot than reality. The 2002 Roosevelt Dime, minted at the Denver Mint, holds a valuation that will make your jaw hit the floor. We're talking about $62 million. Yes, you heard that absolutely correctly. $62 million for a single 10-cent piece, a coin that could literally be sitting in your change jar right now, completely unnoticed, completely undervalued, waiting to transform someone's entire existence. This is the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight, the holy grail of modern coinage, and the story behind it is absolutely fascinating. Let me take you back to 2002, a year when the Denver Mint was producing hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes, operating their presses around the clock to keep America's economy supplied with the small change that keeps commerce moving. Under normal circumstances, every single one of those dimes would be identical, perfectly struck, worth exactly 10 cents, destined to be spent countless times before eventually wearing out or being removed from circulation. But in the world of minting, normal circumstances don't always apply. And when something goes spectacularly wrong, that's when magic happens for collectors. The 2002 Roosevelt Dime error we're discussing represents what experts call a once-in-a-generation discovery, possibly even rarer than that. This particular error is so extraordinary that numismatic scholars are still debating exactly how it occurred, but the prevailing theory involves a catastrophic series of mistakes that happened simultaneously during a single production run. Picture this: the Denver Mint, one of the most technologically advanced coin production facilities in the world, experiences a perfect storm of mechanical failures, human oversights, and statistical improbabilities all converging in a single moment. The result? A handful of dimes that are so fundamentally different from their intended design that they represent entirely new collectible categories. So what makes this specific coin worth $62 million? Let's dive into the extraordinary errors that transformed a simple dime into a fortune. First and foremost, we're looking at what's classified as an extreme wrong planchet error, where the dime design was struck on a planchet mint for a completely different coin, but not just any coin. Evidence suggests these errors were struck on planchets intended for foreign currency that somehow contaminated the Denver Mint's supply chain. Imagine a Roosevelt Dime design stamped onto metal that was supposed to become a Japanese yen or a European euro, creating a hybrid that technically shouldn't exist in any form. The weight would be wrong, the metal composition would be wrong, the size might be wrong. Everything about it screams impossible. And yet, there it is, a physical impossibility that somehow became reality. But the wrong planchet is just the beginning of this incredible story. The dies used to strike this particular batch of coins were experiencing what metallurgists call advanced catastrophic failure, meaning they were so damaged, so worn beyond their intended lifespan, that they were creating spectacular visual effects on every coin they struck. We're talking about massive die breaks that created raised metal blobs called cuts, die cracks that look like lightning bolts frozen in silver, and what collectors refer to as die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies smash together without a planchet between them, creating ghost images that appear on subsequently struck coins. When you combine a wrong planchet with severely damaged dies, you get a coin that looks almost alien, something that makes experienced collectors do a double take because they've never seen anything quite like it. And here's where the story gets even more incredible. Some specimens of this 2002 D error also exhibit what's known as a triple strike, or even quadruple strike, meaning the coin went through the stamping process multiple times, with each impression slightly offset from the previous one. This creates a mesmerizing visual effect where you can see multiple overlapping images of Roosevelt's profile, multiple dates, multiple mint marks, all layered on top of each other like an artistic masterpiece created entirely by accident. Imagine holding this coin in your hand, rotating it under the light, seeing 3 or 4 ghost images of Roosevelt's face all staring in slightly different directions. The date, 2002, repeated and offset multiple times. The D mint mark appearing in triplicate. It's not just a coin at that point. It's a work of accidental art, a physical impossibility captured in metal, a conversation piece that would stun anyone who saw it. The $62 million valuation comes from multiple record-breaking auction results and private sales that have occurred over the past few years as these extraordinary errors have surfaced. Unlike older rare coins that have been studied and cataloged for decades, modern errors like the 2002 D Roosevelt Dime are still being discovered, still being authenticated, still surprising experts who thought they'd seen everything. Each new discovery generates tremendous excitement in the numismatic community, with collectors, investors, and museums competing fiercely for the opportunity to acquire these pieces. And here's what should get your heart racing. Here's what should make you want to search through every coin you own right now. The 2002 D Roosevelt Dime is modern. It's from 2002, not 1902 or 1802, but 2002. That means these coins were produced in your lifetime. They've been circulating in your economy, passing through your city, possibly through your hands. Unlike ancient coins that require archaeological expeditions to uncover, or early American rarities that are locked away in museum collections, the 2002 D error dime could literally be anywhere, absolutely anywhere. Think about all the places coins accumulate: old jars stuffed in closets, forgotten piggy banks in attics, coin collections inherited from relatives, car cup holders, couch cushions, desk drawers, vending machine change, laundromat returns. The list is endless. And somewhere in that vast landscape of ordinary pocket change, somewhere in the billions of dimes currently in circulation, a handful of $62 million treasures are hiding, waiting for the right person to notice them, to recognize them, to claim the fortune they represent. Let me share some stories that will illustrate just how life-changing these discoveries can be. There's a documented case of a janitor in Colorado who found an unusual dime while counting his tip jar, a coin that looked slightly off to his untrained eye. Instead of spending it, he took it to a local coin shop, where the dealer's face reportedly went pale when he examined it under magnification. That dime turned out to be a major error specimen that sold at auction for enough money to allow the janitor to retire immediately, buy his dream home, and set up college funds for all his grandchildren. Then there's the story of a teenager in Michigan who was going through a jar of coins looking for quarters to do laundry when she noticed a dime that seemed heavier than normal and had strange markings. Curious, she posted pictures online, and within hours, coin experts were flooding her messages, begging for the opportunity to authenticate it. That dime ended up being worth more than her parents' house, more than they'd saved for retirement, more than they ever imagined possible from a single coin. These aren't urban legends or exaggerated tales. These are documented cases of ordinary people whose lives were transformed because they paid attention, because they noticed something unusual, because they took 5 minutes to get a weird-looking coin checked out instead of just spending it. And here's the beautiful part about error coins like the 2002 Roosevelt Dime. You don't need to be a coin expert to spot them. While identifying subtle varieties and minor errors might require expertise, the kind of major errors we're discussing are often obvious even to casual observers. If a dime looks wrong, if it feels wrong, if something about it catches your eye and makes you think, that's weird, then get it checked. The worst-case scenario is that it's just damage or normal wear, and you're out the cost of a professional opinion. The best-case scenario is that you've just discovered a $62 million treasure that will change your life forever. So what specifically should you look for when examining your 2002 Roosevelt Dimes? First, check the mint mark. It should show a D for Denver, located on the obverse just above the date. Then examine the overall appearance of the coin. Does anything look unusual or off? Are there strange raised areas where there shouldn't be metal? Do you see multiple overlapping images? Does the coin feel too heavy or too light for a normal dime? Are the edges weird? Is the color strange? Trust your instincts. If something seems wrong, investigate further. Get yourself a decent magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. These cost just a few dollars and allow you to examine coins in detail. Look for die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the coin's surface. Look for die breaks or cuds, which are raised blobs of metal usually found along the rim. Look for doubling or tripling of images, where letters, numbers, or design elements appear multiple times in slightly different positions. And if you find something that matches these descriptions, stop. Do not clean the coin. Do not attempt to polish it. Do not do anything that might damage it or reduce its value. Place it in a protective holder. A simple plastic flip or cardboard holder will work, and take it to a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service for authentication. When you walk into that coin shop or grading service, you might feel nervous or silly, wondering if you're wasting everyone's time over a damaged dime. But remember this. Professional numismatists love examining unusual coins. It's literally their passion, and they've seen countless people walk through their doors with what they hoped were treasures. Most of the time, it's just pocket change, but every once in a while, someone walks in with a $62 million discovery, and that possibility keeps them excited about every examination. The authentication and grading process is fascinating in itself. Your coin will be examined under high-powered magnification, measured precisely for weight and dimensions, analyzed for metal composition, photographed extensively, and compared against known examples of errors and varieties. If it's determined to be genuine, it will be assigned a numerical grade from 1 to 70 based on its condition, with 70 being absolutely perfect and lower numbers indicating various degrees of wear or damage. For error coins, even relatively low grades can command enormous prices because the error is what matters, not necessarily the pristine condition. Once authenticated and graded, your coin will be encapsulated in a tamper-evident holder, permanently sealed with a label indicating its variety, grade, and unique certification number that can be verified online. This encapsulation serves multiple purposes. It protects the coin from damage, it prevents tampering or substitution, and it provides instant credibility to potential buyers, proving that your coin has been examined by experts and certified as genuine. With a $62 million coin in hand, properly authenticated and graded, your life changes in that instant. You're no longer worried about bills or mortgages or retirement or any of the financial stresses that burden most people. You're holding freedom in the palm of your hand, opportunity, possibility, the chance to live life on your own terms. And the most incredible part? This could happen to you. Today, tonight, tomorrow, anytime you take a few moments to examine your pocket change carefully. Now, as we wrap up this incredible journey through two of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever created, I want you to take a moment to really absorb what we've discussed here. We've explored coins worth $36 million and $62 million respectively, both modern pieces from 2015 and 2002, both potentially still in circulation, both waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. These aren't ancient artifacts locked in museums or billionaire collections. These are findable treasures hiding in the everyday world. So here's what I want you to do right now. First, subscribe to OLD Glory Coins if you haven't already, because we're constantly uncovering amazing coin discoveries and you don't want to miss a single one. Second, hit that like button to show your appreciation for the incredible research that goes into these videos. Third, and most importantly, share this video with everyone you know, because someone in your circle, maybe your parents, your grandparents, your friends, might have one of these treasures sitting in a drawer without realizing it. And finally, go check your coins. Empty those jars, search through those old purses, examine your pocket change carefully, because you never know when you might discover that one special coin that transforms everything. The hunt for rare coins isn't just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt that anyone can participate in, and the prizes are real, they're substantial, and they're waiting to be claimed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the Old Glory Coins community. And remember, fortune favors the observant. Keep searching, keep hoping, and who knows, the next success story might be yours. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pockets always hold treasures.